It is that time again to finally pick up my next month's TBR, and I don't know if you can see, but the blind bags are back. And I usually have 12 books that I would put in the bags, but this time around I only used 10 books, and then I think we're gonna pick 5 for April. I feel like 5 is just a sweet spot for me. It's not really too much pressure to actually finish all of the books in a month. I can read at least 1 book a week, and I should be able to finish at least 4 books, so I think that's great. I already put 10 numbers on the wheel spinner. I think I'm just gonna like show it to you because I'm too lazy to do a screen recording. So let us spin. Number 5. Number 5 should be here. This is number 5. Let's see. Oh, okay. I'm excited to read this. Margot's Got Money Troubles. I'm going to go through all of the books probably towards the end of the video, but I will keep the book right here. And now let's spin again. Number 9. All right, 9 is right here. Number 9. Let's see what it is. Okay, so we have The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I have been wanting to read this. I've heard pretty great things about it, and I read the first few pages I think last year to figure out which book I want to read next, and it was actually really interesting. So I am down for reading that in April. So let's spin again. Number 6. All right, 6 is right here. Let's see. Okay, so I got The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I actually just watched the trailer for the TV show adaptation. The first season I think is gonna be based on this book, and I cannot wait to read this. I didn't know that the FMC is actually a music major, which is kind of cool. And based on the trailer, I think it's gonna be a pretty decent adaptation. So I'm hoping that I can read this book in April, and I think the first season is gonna be premiering in May, I wanna say, May 31st or something like that. So hopefully I'll be able to finish reading that book in April. All right, let's spin again. Number 1. All right, number 1 is right here. All right, okay, this is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I've heard again so many great things about Elsie Silver's book series. I have this one and I have the other one right here. The first one is Flawless. I always forget like what is the name of the series, but I am excited to read this one. And we're gonna pick our last book. Okay, let's spin. Number 5. Wait. Oh, I already picked number 5. Let's spin again. Number 4. All right. Oh, I can already see what it is, I think, because it has sprayed edges on the top. It is Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. So I know that you probably are curious about the other 5 that I didn't pick, so let's just go through them. So bag number 2 had Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I also really wanted to start this series. Bag number 3 had, all right, the first book in the Harry Potter series. I know about the author, but honestly I have not read any of the Harry Potter books before. I think I read maybe the first one halfway and I did not finish it, so I'm hoping that I can read the book this year. Bag number 7 had Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I've heard again so many great things about this book series. I have all of the books in the series finally because I got the 3rd book, which is King's Cage from Ape Books. I've been looking for that book everywhere. Bag number 8. This is the numbers that we did not pick. Okay, we had Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q Sutanto. I'm excited again to read this book. It has nosy aunties. They are Chinese Indonesian, which is just like me. And I think the family has a wedding planning business, which is always pretty interesting in my opinion. And lastly, back number 10. Oh, okay. It had The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. I also want to read at least one of her books, which is this one this year, because I met Sarah Penner last year at one of the Las Vegas library events, and she talked about the way that she researched for her books, the way she writes her books, and it was just very inspiring. And I definitely want to start reading this book because she is currently writing, I believe, the sequel to this book, and it should be published in 2027. I definitely want to be able to finish this book first so I can read the next book hopefully next year. Okay, so those are the 5 books that we didn't get to pick for our April or my April TBR, and these are my April TBR books. So let's go over it briefly. The last one I guess that I picked was Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is kind of like the sequel to Better Than the Movies, which I read last year. I also have read the extra chapters in between the books or for after the books or something like that from Lynn Painter's website, and I definitely need to get on this book because I want to finish more series this year. So if I read this book in April, I'll be able to finish one series, which is great. If you don't know what this book is all about, this is basically about Liz and Wes, which we obviously read about if you read Better Than the Movies. This is basically from Wes's point of view, and I believe this is when they finally go to college. I don't want to say too much about where we left off in the first book, especially if you haven't read the first book yet, but just know that this is from Wes's point of view, and this is when they both finally go to college. The next book that I picked was Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I feel like I have a hard time saying those two words together, but this is the first book in the Rose Hill series. I have, like I said, the other book series that she has. I think it was called Chestnut Springs, but I also have the first book in another series that she has also. But I'm hoping to start Wild Love in April to kind of start off my Elsie Silver reading experience, I guess. But this one is about a billionaire, Fort Grant, I believe, and Rosie. I think he has a recording studio in Rose Hill, and then Rosie used to live in Rose Hill but then came back or something. I think it's kind of like best friend's little sister trope type of thing, and I know that it's always kind of like forbidden, like you don't want to cross that line. I always enjoy kind of like brothers or sisters best friend trope, so I cannot wait to read this one. The next book that I picked for April was The Deal by Elle Kennedy. Like I mentioned earlier, I just watched the trailer for the first season of this TV series adaptation of this book series, and I cannot wait to watch it. I think it's gonna be premiering in May, so I have a couple months to actually read this book. This one is about Hannah, who is a music major. I'm not really sure if she is a music major in this book, but I know that in the adaptation she is. And the love interest is Garrett. I think Garrett has really bad GPA that if he doesn't keep it up, he might get kicked off the hockey team. So I think Hannah is gonna help him study, and then things are gonna start from there. I cannot wait to read this book series. I actually love college age book series because college was so much fun for me, and I kind of just want to relive my college years through these books. The other one that I picked for my April TBR was The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This one is part of a book series. I think there are also some spin-off series, but I think the main series, there are 4 books I want to say. This book is about Avery, who actually inherited this billionaire's like wealth, I guess. She doesn't know who this guy is, never had any contact with this man, but he already passed away. She can't really ask him anything about like this inheritance, and I guess one of the stipulations is for her to move into the Hawthorne mansions, and that is where she's gonna meet this old man's 4 grandsons, I believe. And I think there's some type of love triangle. They are kind of trying to figure out why Avery was given this inheritance. The 4 guys thought that they will get it. I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. Like I said earlier, I did read probably the first few pages last this year to kind of figure out what I want to read next, and this is definitely really piqued my interest, and I cannot wait to start this series. The last one that we are hopefully going to read in April is Margot's Got Money Troubles by Ruthie Thorpe. This one again has been on my list since last year when I learned about this book and how it's gonna be adapted to a TV series on Apple TV. I don't have Apple TV. I don't really know if the series already like premiering or anything like that, but I'm hoping to read this book hopefully in April, and maybe I'll get a 3 months trial or something to watch this series. I don't know, we shall see. But anyways, this one is about Margot, who had a relationship with her college professor, and she ended up getting pregnant from that relationship. Even though a lot of people are telling her that she should maybe not keep the baby because her life is gonna be so different, she decided to keep the baby anyway and raise the baby on her own. But I think along the way, her estranged dad came back to her life and offered her some help with raising the baby, and she's also trying to figure out how to make money, and she somehow ended up creating a, I think, OnlyFans profile to make some money. There's just gonna be, I think, different characters that are gonna be coming to her life, helping her out with her situation, and I think it's gonna be interesting. It's also a pretty thin book, so hopefully it's gonna be a quick read, it's gonna be fast-paced, and it's gonna be interesting, and hopefully I'll be able to finish this book next month. Anyways, those are all of the books that I am planning to read in April. I feel like the blind bags have to come back at least every other month or something, because it's kind of fun to pick the 10 books that I want to put in these bags and then let the random generator choose for me.